Welcome back, Tribe. You are listening to Next Level Physicians Thriving Outside the Box, where we invite doctors, dentists, and medical entrepreneurs who are breaking the mold, stepping outside the box as entrepreneurs, and practicing on their terms to share their journey, wisdom, and their inspiration with the world. I am your host, Dr. Maiysha Claiborne. My calling is to help doctors find freedom, fulfillment, and full self-expression. I have helped dozens of medical professionals transform their mindset, leverage their skill set, and build profitable businesses and careers they love. Now, let's get to the good stuff. But before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an opportunity for inspiration, motivation, and empowerment with me and our amazing guests. Now, let's take it to the next level, y'all. Here we go. Hey, y'all. I'm back. It's Dr. Maiysha. On this episode of Next Level Physicians Thriving Outside the Box is 2020, and it is time for a new shift, a new vision, a new year. And with me, I have an amazing doctor, and I'm going to read his bio here because I want y'all to know exactly how amazing he is. Dr. Christopher Liu. Dr. Liu is an American entrepreneur, investor, consultant, author, speaker, executive coach, and physician advisor, a native Houstonian. Houston. Yes. He received a full scholarship from the Terry Foundation. He received his MD, PhD from the Medical Scientist Training Program through the joint Baylor College of Medicine, Rice University Bioengineering Department. Woo! He retired from a career in medicine in 2016 to fully focus on running his the portfolio of his business, and his extensive consulting experience working with hospitals, technology startups, high net worth clients, and executives over the past 12 years. Through his passion and experience in starting companies and working with teams, he has positioned himself and leveraged that experience into building a successful business, brand, and career, and publishing and speaking extensively about business, financial freedom, and entrepreneurship to audiences worldwide. He's the author of How I Quit My Lucrative Medical Career and Achieved Financial Freedom, published in 2018, The Physician's Guide to Achieving Financial Freedom Using Stocks and Options, The Physician's Guide to Getting Started in Consulting, published in 2019, and The Physician's Guide to Becoming a Freelance Writer. This man is amazing. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Christopher Liu. What's up?
Hey, Maiysha, thanks for that intro.
Yes, and man, I tell you what, we had a chance to talk before when we had our virtual coffee. I knew this is going to be a really good show. And, the theme we talked about is a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Go where there is no path and leave a trail." And man, that is what this show is all about. So talk about your journey and how you've come to do what you do and what you do exactly now.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the intro.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Houston, Texas, and so Houston is my hometown. And just from an early age, I was always the outsider, so I never fit in. Mm-hmm. So I think that helped a lot in my entrepreneurial mindset. I was always doing things against the grain, and a lot to compensate for that. I became very success oriented, results oriented. So as a result of that, I was the guy that everybody came to me for help with school. So tutoring sessions, and that's how I leverage that skill set in my coaching practice now. But really, the heart of it was always about freedom. Really not. I didn't want to be dependent upon a job or a boss or corporation, and I wanted to be able to thrive in any situation, any economy. But a lot of societal conditioning, parents, friends, and spouse. So I chose the safe path, which was to pursue a stable job, a high-paying job. But really, as a kid, I was always starting businesses. In high school and college, I was invested in my first stocks, and then the money started was in grad school when I started investing in real estate. So I started investing my profits into equities and options. And and there was a point, I was in my early 20s where I was able to generate a full-time income as a student without needing a job or anything. And so I had to decide if I was going to grow and scale that company, do it full-time, or spend all my time finishing medical school residency and so forth. So, and this comes to the part where mentors come in, because I sought a lot of mentorship, and a lot of my mentors back then were attending. So, and so you have to really look at the context. And so a lot of them were like, well, if you're interested in business, just finish medical school, do residency. And
I remember that I remember those advice, that type of advice. It's like you and I are kindreds in a way, because I was always like off the beaten path and always interested in things that were different. And that was one of the, just finish medical school and residency.
Yeah. And it was funny because, really my idea was I would finish residency. I would do practice for 1 year, retire, and start my company. Right.
Nice.
So, and they were like, oh, just finish residency, get board certified. And, if things don't work out, you always have a clinical job. So,
wow.
And to me, because I had always grown up in that environment, so I was like, oh, that's a safe. But I wasn't really looking at the opportunity cost, what I was losing by investing all that time. So
it's so interesting because back in the day, that actually sounded good. You'll always have a backup job. Right. You'll always have clinical medicine. And now we look at the state of clinical medicine, and it's like, ooh, you want to go back to that? And I've contemplated, like, over the years, after I transitioned, I've contemplated, well, maybe I'll just go back and do like one urgent care shift just to see how it is. And then I just can't bring myself to step back into that realm. It's so hard once you escape.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was funny because when it came time to decide on the specialty, none of the specialties really appealed to me. So I just went for the next best thing. Orthopedic surgery sounded appealing, so I pursued that, and
nothing sounds appealing. Let's just choose the hardest one.
Yeah, exactly. And but I think really I learned a lot, because really when I decided to transition out of clinical medicine and pursue my company, I think that was the single best decision in my entire life, because it altered the course of my life from being highly paid but unhappy to be truly free.
Yeah.
So,
how did you make that decision? Like, what was the tipping point for you that you were like, all right, I'm done?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because like day one, I go to orientation, and I'm looking around, and I have this sinking, oh my God feeling. It's like, and I knew right then and there that I had made the wrong choice, but I just knew on day one. Right. But I toughed it out for another 2 years. Really, it was the worst 2 years of my life. But really, it taught me a lot, how to create a life based on my own intentions. So how to spot environments, how to spot people that weren't good for me, and how to avoid wasting time and energy in endeavors that didn't suit my higher purpose and calling. So, and the paradigm shift for me was, I was working 120 plus hours, we were just, just nonstop, just like going on 1 hour of sleep, sometimes no sleep at all. And the big paradigm shift was when I started to define the game and the outcome and the rules that I was playing based on my own preferences and what my own values and my beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what it boils down to, is like really finding your own values and beliefs. And I think that's something that you impart on some of your clients too now, as you do some executive coaching and consulting. That's
Yeah.
something that you're bringing to your clients, and it's a commonality, I think. And, a lot of us coaches, you have to bring that
Right.
in making that decision around career transition. And I think that's part of what you're doing now, right?
Right, exactly. So I do a lot of physician coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and my coaching practice is augmented by speaking engagement, doing these
Mm-hmm.
podcasts, writing books,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually has two components. One is career transition. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it I teach my clients how the step-by-step process,
Mm-hmm.
how to go from designing a life on your own terms, creating your ideal life.
Mm-hmm.
We take an initial assessment. We really focus on mindset and beliefs, and
Mm-hmm.
really dig down deep. What is it that's driving them? What are their
Mm-hmm.
core values, beliefs, wants, and desires?
Mm-hmm.
And then we formulate an action plan so that they're able to eventually break free.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that we get so disconnected from in our training. And
Yeah.
it's not like we were originally disconnected. I think that when we came into medicine as physicians, we had like these dreams and these desires and this connectedness and this, sort of like optimistic view of what life would be like,
Uh,
healing people, right?
right. Uh,
And then the real deal, and it gets beat out of us, like the connection to what's important to us really gets beat out of us and gets replaced by what the industry says is important to us. And so it's really great that I like to think of people like you, my colleagues, as like my warrior tribe.
yeah.
you know
I like.
Warriors for the transformation of what it is to be a physician.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was really disheartening because I tell all of my clients because I loved medical school. I thought
Mm-hmm.
it was, I was around all these brilliant people,
Mm-hmm.
smart people, high achievers, and you was like in this environment, and then you graduate, and it's so congratulations, go out into the real working world, and it's almost like it's this feeling where I describe it where you're you achieve your life goal and dream, and then you look around, and instead of joy and ecstasy, you just feel alone, despair, and just ever like it's like, is this what I work for? Is it,
Right. Is
so
this it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like I went through that too. I mean, I went through that personally, like where mine happened in residency as well. It was like, is this all there is? Like, there's got to be more. And I
right.
think that what has to be done
Yeah.
is to really walk into that unknown, like this path, this trail where there's no path, right? And that's the place where we as physician coaches are stepping, like
Right.
there's no trail, and we have to, so I have this vision of a person with a machete and just like, through the path and like forging the path, with the
Right.
machete. Like that's how it is.
uh,
And being willing to see what's on it, because when you get to the other side, there
uh,
is what, like how you described it, freedom.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
uh,
So speaking of freedom, I
uh,
want to know a bit more about the financial side. Like, you started investing
uh,
and started building your business at such a young age. Like, what's the mindset that
uh,
you had to have in order to really step into entrepreneurship at such an early age? I think this is key.
okay, well, that's a great question, because I think there's a difference between being an entrepreneur, which we are, and there's also being entrepreneurial. So,
Mm,
for example, as an entrepreneur, you have to face fear. You have to look at fear and actually
mhm,
just go for it. And like,
mhm.
whether it was just walking into my chairman's office, turning my keys, badge, and pager,
Right.
or just you have to look at you have to jump off the cliff. It's like
Mhm,
skydiving or bungee cord jumping. You just have to be able to see it, but you still have to take action.
mhm,
Um, the other thing about being an entrepreneur and just starting your business is just being able to manage risk. So at an early age, I was always taking risk, but it was in small amounts. So that allowed me
Mm-hmm.
to be able to face my fears and confront my fears, and
Mm-hmm.
that culminated in me be able to walk away from a very highly lucrative career,
Mm-hmm.
start my own company. So, but that's not something that you can just do all at once. You have
Right.
to.
Yes, there is the occasion where I have people who will call me and be like, yeah, so I put in my 6-month notice or my 3-month notice. Now help me. I'm like, okay. However, it would have been nice if you have come to me
Yeah,
before you put your notice in. Thank you very much.
yeah, exactly. Um, um, I also think because growing up, I think being an entrepreneur, you always have to be a little bit different. So I think
Yes.
being an outsider helped me because I was able to see things differently, and I was able
Hmm.
to like develop a skill where I was able to blend in, but I still maintain my own identity. So I think that really
Yeah.
helped too.
I think that's such a great point is I think that, we have been sucked into this whole fit in thing,
Uh,
but I think that the best entrepreneurs stand
yeah,
out. They are different,
right,
but not only are they different, it's like you embrace the differentness and you
right.
leverage the differentness,
Mhm,
right?
right,
And I
exactly.
think that's a thing that we need to learn to do is to leverage the uniqueness, our all of our little unique things out. I say quirks because I know I got me some great quirks, you know. Some people might say I'm a little disruptive.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love being disruptive. So I mean, like, embrace like that differentness, and that uniqueness, and leverage it, and leverage the skill, so that you stand out. Because we all know that coaching is a growing industry,
Oh yeah,
and more physicians are jumping in,
right.
and it's fine. I mean, it's good because I think that means we're waking up to there's something else possible out there, and that's what you're doing. You're helping docs transition. I'm helping docs grow businesses. Like we're doing that thing, and
Uh-huh,
at the same time, we got to be able to stand out. So like I love that point. Like the being different helps.
uh-huh, right.
Hmm.
And it was just you reminded me just of the well, it really took me a long time to really embrace my authenticity and my uniqueness because
Yes.
as a growing up I was always different and an outsider, but and then I sort of went through the mainstream path, and then when I went against the grain, it was sort of you had all this backlash and
Hmm.
people calling you crazy and just
Hmm.
when people are saying you're throwing away your future. So,
Hmm.
um, but when I looked at it, it was just like in my immediate circle, my school's friends, and um, I saw physician mentors, and they were just they were well, they were compensated well, but they were just their quality of life wasn't really good,
Hmm.
and it's just the examples that I aspired to be and to achieve that quality of life. I
Hmm.
had to become an entrepreneur just to
Yeah.
be able to do what I wanted to do and achieve what I wanted to do. So, but,
Absolutely, absolutely, and
hmm.
I think sometimes those people in our lives that, and I know this, these people in our lives who are, how do you say, um, naysayers?
Oh,
Yes, or some people will call them haters.
the
Um,
haters,
they're
exactly.
well-meaning,
Uh,
right? They're
right.
well-meaning, and it's inside of their model of the world, and so they think they're trying to give you great advice. And this
Uh,
is a thing that I think that all physicians who are listening, who are considering stepping outside of the box, should really know, is
uh,
that people, like I had the same thing, like, what are you doing? Especially in the beginning when I did this integrative medicine thing. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice.
uh, oh,
Pat me on the head. That's like how it was,
uh,
and then when I went to transition to coaching, they're like, coaching? What's
uh,
that? But they're well-meaning, but they are operating from their own paradigm.
mhm,
They're operating from their own fears and their own insecurities. And
right.
so for those out there listening, you're feeling like a round peg in a square hole. If you're feeling like you're on the outside, if you have a dream, if you have some type of vision, and people are whispering in your ear like, "Ah, that doesn't make sense," or "Ah, that'll never work." You
No.
got to remember that those people are operating from their own paradigm, and just because they say something doesn't make it true. You reach out to someone like Dr. Christopher here, and really like get a different perspective on what's possible, right? Business ideas, investing, real estate, all of these various things that you've done, you can share with people like, this is what's possible,
Right.
and then
Exactly.
help them through that transition.
Right. And really one of the most because when I transitioned, it was this whole period of just uncertainty and just fear and despair, and it's like, oh my God, I threw away all of these years,
Mm-hmm.
but really to be able to coach somebody through that right now,
Mm-hmm.
just because now a lot of people are going through the same thing, and you can actually go and help somebody and you know reach them and help them through the transition. That is very rewarding. So,
Mm-hmm. It
um,
is.
but and also the whole medical school residency experience. It really it taught me a skill set, how to achieve, and I had to go through all of those years of schooling, in order to learn how to incorporate into my current practice, so that I was leading a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's coming down the pipeline for 2020,
20,
Doc?
in 2020, it's a new year, so a lot of people, lots of specials. I'm creating a couple of online courses right now.
Yes.
I have about half of my year booked for conferences and
Nice.
consulting, and so it's a great time to start the new year right, and get on top of those new year resolutions and goals. I had a lot of clients filling up spots last week,
Awesome.
spots are filling up fast, so I'll send Maiysha the links.
Yes.
I have audio programs, affiliate programs, private one-on-one coaching. So,
Yes.
um, and I can send you all the links in the show notes.
Please do send me all the links to all the courses, and we need to become affiliates. Hello.
Yes, yes, that's right.
I mean, whenever you're with, you're on the same path and we have different sort of like nuances, it's good to be able to cross-reference, because I'm
Yeah.
the power of referral, man. I'm always
Oh,
referring,
yes.
and I get a lot of clients from other coaches who refer. So I think it's a very valuable thing. I always say stronger together, man, stronger
Yeah,
together. Yeah.
exactly.
Well, awesome. Well, so I so appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey, sharing what you do. I think that this is a valuable conversation for our docs, especially the ones who are just like at the beginning of just thinking about it. We're at the beginning of the year. This is the place where people are thinking about stepping outside the box, and they need to know that there are resources for them. So share with us how people can follow you on social media, your
Uh,
website, and then I will make sure I include all of this in the show notes.
sure, sure. So I'm on Instagram, so you can follow me it's at Dr. Chris Liu, MD, PhD. And I also have an online store and an Amazon author page that'll be in the show notes.
Awesome.
Um, I have a Facebook business page. It's also at Dr. Chris Liu, MD, PhD. YouTube is the link will be in the show notes, and I can also be found on LinkedIn. So any of those, I'm ramping up my YouTube channel, so
Me
like, follow,
too.
subscribe. I'm
I
trying to do
believe this is the year of YouTube.
it.
Awesome, 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 Doc. And then website, did you give me your website?
Yes, my website is drchrislewmdphd.com.
See, you're making it easy for folks. Consistency, brand consistency. That is where it's at. Awesome. Well, any last tips that you want to bring before we close out the show?
But just it's a great year. It's we're starting the new year out right, so just face those fears. Make those resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
And just go out and execute. Just make those decisions and keep executing. And that's one thing that really helped me, was just taking action.
Taking action. Yep. That action is the key.
Yeah,
There is a quote that says, action expresses priority.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There it is.
so well,
Well,
perfect.
Thank you. Well, thanks for coming on. And we will definitely have all of the links, y'all, in the show notes. It has been a wonderful conversation, and we are definitely going to have to do a part 2.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
Sure. And I know you're doing a lot of courses this year too, so I highly recommend people go to your courses. You know, you have the boot camps, you have the retreat as well. So
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do some cross promotion for sure. All right, y'all. Well, you heard it. This is Dr. Christopher Liu, and we'll have all the links. You can follow them on the show notes. You know where to find me if you want to know more about my stuff, drmaiysha.com. We'll see you on the next episode. Namaste,
right.
y'all.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for spending time with us on this episode of Next Level Physicians Thriving Outside the Box. We hope you enjoyed this one as much as the rest. Remember to go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time a new episode is released. It is you as our listener who help our podcast to grow. So if you like this podcast, if you enjoy what you're hearing, if you are inspired, we'd really appreciate it if you'd write a quick review and share it with 5 of your friends. We want to continue to expand our reach and bring this transformation to all of those doctors and medical professionals out there who are still seeking more autonomy, more freedom, more expression, and purpose in their careers and lives. Finally, if you want to learn more about how I can help you as a doctor or medical professional transform your mindset, leverage your skill set, and create a profitable business and career you love by your design, please check out my website, www.drmaiysha.com. That's drmaiysha.com. On my website, you can access one of my 3 free masterclasses to get you started on your journey to the next level. Have a wonderful rest of the day and an amazing rest of the week, y'all. And keep your head up, looking to the next level. Namaste.